I don't care how pretty it is. I don't care how much you brag about it. Tell the whole beach, come see my sand castle. Man, somebody come running through there. Blam, it's done. Right? People do that with their lives. They have all the material stuff, looking good. Got big bag, being on TV, running around your neighborhood, flying, nice car. But if they don't have Christ, it's built upon the sand. Right? Check it out. The same stuff goes on because this is life. Verse 27. And the rains descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. Oftentimes, the great of the fall is because the devil will get you up so high where you think you got it going on, and at the pinnacle of what you call success, the devil will pull that sand foundation out from under you, and great is the fall of it. Right? Check it out. And it came to pass, verse 28, Matthew 8, when Jesus had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine. That's teachings. For he taught them, he was teaching. He was imparting information, imparting divine instruction, putting things in divine order for our understanding. For he taught them as having authority. Yes, he did. He was all man, all God, the Son of the living God. So yeah, he had authority. And not as the scribes who were trying to figure out how to tell stuff to people in such a way that the people would get it all twisted and add on more burdens on the people than they needed, so these guys would have a job. Right? Now we get to chapter 8, where we're going. That was just prelim. When Jesus was now come down from the mountain, great multitudes or great crowds followed him. And behold, he said, now check this out. Let's just pay special attention to what it's saying. There came a leper and worshipped him. There's a leper. Right? He ain't supposed to touch no lepers. Supposed to be near no lepers. Right? So here the leper comes and worships Jesus, saying, Lord, if thou will, thou can make me clean. Well, why the leper want to be clean? So the leper can go back to town, live a peaceful, loving, warm life, right? He can get back to his kinfolk, back to the family, so he can have things in order, right? The leper's falling apart, basically, right? With leprosy. Verse 3. And Jesus put forth his hand and touched him. Jesus didn't even have a conversation with him. The man asked what he want. Jesus is like, I got this. Reaches out, right? And puts forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will. That's the will of the Father, that be thou clean. The will of God is that we be clean. God's will for you, God's will for me, God's will for us, and them ends over there too, is that we all be clean. Check it out. And immediately his leprosy was cleaned. Verse 4. And Jesus said unto him, See thou tell no man, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. In those days, you had to go to the priest to be certified that you were clean so that you now could get back with the colony, back to town. All right? Check it out. Verse 5. And when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him. He's like begging him. Centurion wants something done. And he's adamant about it. So he's beseeching Jesus. Okay? Hear what we're talking about. Jesus, a centurion. What's the status of a centurion? A centurion is in charge of a whole bunch of soldiers. He got a certain level of command or authority. I don't remember the exact number, but let's say he's in charge of 10 groups of 100 men. All right? He's a centurion. He's a bad boy. All right? 2-star, 3-star general. I don't know how to compare it, but you get the drift. All right? It's the principle we're dealing with. Okay? And when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him and saying, Lord. He's saying master. He's saying teacher, master teacher. He's saying, Lord, my servant. Now, he's a centurion. He got servants. Right? My servant lieth at home sick of the palsy. The boy paralyzed. Grievously tormented. Now, you can get a quick picture of that in your mind. His servant is at home sick. His servant got palsy, and his servant is moaning and groaning and rolling around the bed. Right? Check it out. Verse 5. And when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. Jesus was on it, right? Why? Because Jesus was sent of the Father to heal the sick, open the eyes of the blind, right? Comfort those that were all their lives in captivity. He had a mission. He had a purpose. He'd come to tell folk the kingdom of God is arrived, good news. And now as he spoke, Father would confirm the message of the kingdom with signs and wonders. Jesus going about healing folk in the process of delivering the message of the kingdom. Jesus was not out asking people to come to a meeting so they can get healed. They got healed at the meeting they came to as he preached the message of the kingdom. Right? Check it out. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. Now, from here on is what we're really focusing on. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou should have come under my roof. Now, the centurion, social-wise, got it going on, right? You got a house, got servants, got money, working for the Roman Empire, got an army that he commands. He got it pretty good in the natural, but he got sense. He said, I am not worthy that thou should have come under my roof, but speak the word only. Just say he's healed. This is what the centurion is telling Jesus. Just speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. You ain't even got to come. I believe, I trust, I recognize your authority and your power. Just speak it. You ain't even got to take the time to get to my house. And here's why the centurion understands authority and power in the kingdom. Even though the centurion is speaking his heart by faith, believing in the integrity and the authority of Jesus speaking the word of life, that his servant be healed, the issue is about authority and power. Check it out. The centurion says, giving the comparison of how he comes to understand Jesus as Lord, Master, and King, can just say the word. He says in verse 9, Matthew 8, "For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man or soldier, go," and he goes, and he listens to what I say, right? "And to another soldier, man, come," get over here to your post, right? "And he cometh. And then to my servant, I tell my servant to do this, go get me some water, go get me some wine." You know how they be back then in the movies. "And the servant, he doeth. He do what I say." Centurion say, look, in the natural, I'm kind of like you, right? And because I can grasp the concept of king, kingdom, reign, authority, and power, and the right to rule, to say go, and they go, to say come, and they come, to tell my servant, go fetch me something, and they go fetch me something, I understand, Lord, that if you just say the word, my servant will be healed. It's about kingdom, authority, and power. It's not about you having faith to get stuff from God. That's not the essence here. You see the difference? Check it out. Verse 10. When Jesus heard, he marveled. What's he marveling? What's he marveling at? And said to them that followed, remember, he had a whole crowd of folk, the multitudes followed him, right? See, we got to keep it together when we read, right? You got to see it in the spirit. Got all these people that have been following him since he came down from the mountain. All this stuff happened. All these folk are trailing behind Jesus. Most of them are trailing behind him because they've seen the miracles or they've been fed. They're not trailing behind him necessarily because they want to learn from him. They want stuff. Right? Check it out. Verse 10. When Jesus heard what the centurion had just explained, Jesus marveled and said unto them that followed, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. In other words, I've been around these parts for a little bit here, and ain't nobody had the faith and was able to explain it the way this dude just did. He's not preaching on faith. He's acknowledging the man's faith. Right? Why you look at me like that? Good stuff, huh? Yeah, okay. Check it out. Verse 11. Well, let's go back to 10. When Jesus heard the centurion's explanation, he marveled and said unto them that followed, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so